Alright guys, so excuse my dirty mat here, but the other one that I have is too big for my desk, so I have to use this one for now. But welcome to Java, Jesus, and Journaling with Melissa. I am Melissa, and today I will be using everything in this bag, which is all junk food, containers, packaging, boxes, scraps, you name it, and I'm going to be making a junk journal out of it. Now, Pam over at the Paper Outpost is the one that actually posted this challenge, and I may be a little bit late to it, but it took me a while to get all the stuff together, and not only that, it took me a while to get my camera and stuff, so that is why I'm doing it now. So hopefully it's not too late. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I think I'm going to use this as my, let me see. Am I going to use this? Or am I going to use, trying to find what I'm going to use as like my cover. Here, I have a lot. I'm telling you, I have so much stuff. It's kind of a shame how much stuff. But in my defense, I do have several teenagers in my home that have jobs and like eating junk food, so I just collected some of their stuff too. So it isn't all mine. In my defense, I think I like the size of this one, so I think I'm gonna use this one. We're gonna go with this one. So first thing you have to do is just deconstruct the box. And I really love this idea because I like making junk journals, and I like, reusing stuff as often as possible. And this is, the ultimate reusing here is using garbage. So I really like the idea. I'm going to start off by cutting all of these flaps off. Let's see here. Start down here, and my son is home as always, because where does he go without me? But so you'll hear him in the background. You may see his little hands and cars and stuff in the video sometimes. You'll definitely hear him in the background doing stuff like that. Micah, go back to the room, please. Mommy's doing a video. Go. Come on. 1, 2. Now. Thank you. And then he does that. I know most people say they don't mind, but it can be kind of distracting for me as well, so just have to kick him out. But I'm gonna cut this one off because I don't like that one. And then I'm gonna cut all of these off and go ahead and cut this off. So you can use any, if you have what's that stuff called, chipboard, a cereal box, any kind of box will do. And if you don't have this, cardstock. Who doesn't have some kind of a box? A mac and cheese box, granola bar box, any kind of box. Like, you just need something a little bit sturdier than just regular paper. So that's why I like using boxes, because they're not super thick, but they, give you the durability, the strength that you need to make the covers. So definitely good to have it on hand. And again, who doesn't have some sort of box from something, So just keep an eye on your recycle bin. And I bet you have tons of stuff you can use. Oops, I moved my cutting mat here. So I have to get used to doing this type of stuff and recording my audio at the same time, because usually when I'm doing my DIYs on my DIY channel, I'm pretty much quiet while I'm, doing everyday stuff at home. And then I just do a voiceover. But I think doing a voiceover for these would be a little bit harder. So I'm just going to go with it. Go with the flow. I know these videos tend to be... And then you save these. You know, you save whatever you cut off because you could use these as little folders or tabs or anything. So just save them. Do not throw them away because those are valuable scraps there. All right. So then what I'm going to do... Oh, but like I was saying... You know, these videos tend to be a little bit longer just because, you know, we are going step by step. And I have done a few videos on my other channel. I'm just going to get my bone folder here, try to get this crease here. I've done a few like journal videos on my other channel. And I have done them live, or not live, but did them just like this where I spoke. So let's see, I don't generally measure, but I want to make sure that this isn't like an awkward size. Let's put it over here. I just don't want it to be like an awkward size. So let's see, I'm gonna do 6, and then that way it'll give me room to kind of, you know, put some stuff in there where then it'll be 5 in width, I guess. Sounds about right. We'll go with that. I'm not really always that accurate. I tend to just kind of just do it, you know? That sound is just so satisfying when you hear it cutting through. Love that sound. All right. Make sure you close that. All right, so we have... Do I want it like this? I think this is good. I think this will work for me. One of my sons is coming home right now. I'm going to pause here for just a moment because he's going to interrupt me. All right, well, you're probably still going to hear some noise in the background, so I'm going to keep going. All right, so we've got our cover. Then I got to see what I want to cover our cover with. And I was thinking, where'd it go? This, because it has all the M's on it. And well, you know, my name starts with an M, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's see here how I'm going to do this. How am I going to do this? I'm going to take this apart. Just so I can cut it here. I guess technically I don't have to do all... Well, I kind of want this though. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Bam. Ah. Do 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 do. Alright, and this is just so I can kind of lay it somewhat flat so that I can cut across here. Kind of give myself what I'm looking for here. I want this little M here. I don't want this greasy part in the back. So, let's see. I don't want all the greasy parts. I mean, we can cover it up, obviously, but I don't want the greasies. So let's see. I kind of like that. Let's see what we're going to do here. All right. Now what we can probably do is, remember when you were a kid? I don't know about you, but in Chicago, we used to have to cover our books, our school books. I think that's going to be kind of the idea here. Oh, here comes another one of my children coming home. It's a never-ending cycle around here. Someone's always coming in the door or leaving out the door or something. All right, so we're going to cut it.
Mom,
Oh, no, I'm recording. How was school?
good. Okay. Can I go to my friend's house tomorrow?
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, wait, no. What?
I'm recording.
What I thought you said?
I'm recording. Like, I'm recording my voice right now. I'm not live, but I'm recording my voice. Let's clean it up a little bit here. Oops. Clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. Oh, got stuck on something. Why is it doing that? You gotta switch a tool here. Switch a tool. Maybe it's the paper. It's getting stuck. See? Yeah, I think it's the paper. Okay. It's fine. We shall survive. It'll be alright. Okay. Move all this stuff out the way here. I want to make sure my little M is in the front there. So, I'm going to do this. Is it even even? I'm not uneven here. Might be uneven. So I'm going to line it up with this one here. Right? There we go. All right. There we go. You have homework?
Yeah.
This may not be the ideal way to do it, but this is how we do it around here. All right, so this is about when my audio went sour. The kids were home in full force, making noise in the background, so I had to do a voiceover. All right, so to cover the cover, I'm going to go ahead and just cut squares out of each corner, and I'm just going to do this to every corner so that it looks like this. And then all you have to do is just flip the, the edges over and glue them down. So I am going to use a glue stick. I use Scotch Create glue, but you can use whatever, glue you want. I like these glue sticks. First of all, they stick really, really well. And I like that it's a bigger tube and it just makes it easier and it doesn't wrinkle up your paper or anything like that. Now, I will say that once you set it down, you don't have a whole lot of time to like shift it or move it around. So you have to make sure you get it on there pretty precisely, because if not, you're not going to be able to move it too much. So I got this little face roller thingy from the Dollar Tree. It's like one of those ones that's supposed to like help with the wrinkles and keep your face nice and smooth. And I use it as a small brayer. It's the perfect size for, projects like this. So yeah, hit the Dollar Tree up. They're perfect for this type of stuff. Now, next thing you're going to do is just put some glue on each of the flaps and glue those down. All right, so once you're done gluing down all the flaps, again, you're just going to use the glue stick. And if you want to use different glue, that's fine. Whatever you have on hand will work. But like I said, these glue sticks work out great. And you can use, Dollar Tree glue stick. They just don't stick as well. I just realized that this glue stick works really, really well. So that's why I like it. And you can get these at Michael's, Joann, anything like that. All right. So then to cover the inside of the cover, that just sounds weird. I'm going to use a Wendy's bag. Now, the reason I chose this Wendy's bag is because I love the fries on the side. It kind of looks like shells to me, like seashells. So that's why I decided to use this for the inside cover. So I'm just trying to find, how big I want it to be and what portion of the bag I'm going to use and how big, blah, blah, blah. All this is going to depend on, how big your cover is. So, if you use a bigger box, obviously you're going to use more. But I'm just going to go ahead, kind of measure it out, see what I want to use, and eliminate as much of like the grease stains and any kind of messed up parts as I can, so I don't have to worry about covering those once they're in my journal. Just make it easier, eliminate any extra, coverage that I have to do. So once I do that, like I said, I'm just going to measure it out and cover the inside of the journal. All right, so now that everything's cut up, again, you're just going to take your glue stick or whatever glue you want. And I think one of my kids was talking to me in the background and I forgot to edit this out. But nonetheless, you're just going to take your glue stick, go around the whole thing, make sure you got some good coverage. I always put like a piece of paper underneath just so that I don't get glue all over my mat. Sometimes I forget, but for the most part, just put something over your mat so you protect it so you don't mess it up, because it does tend to cause some issues. If you put other paper on there, it gets stuck, obviously. So I just went ahead and I glued that on there, and again used my little mini brayer / face roller and smoothed all the little bumps, or as many as I could, made sure all the corners and stuff are glued down. And I'm telling you, this thing is a lifesaver. It's better than any of the brayers that I've gotten, because the ones that I have are all bigger, and I know they make smaller ones, but this was $1 and it works perfect. So why not? So I'm going to just go ahead, do the same thing to the other side, and just make sure that everything is glued in there right where I want it. All right, so once everything is glued down and where you want it, you're just going to kind of go through, clean up any pieces that may be overlapping or anything like that. Just make sure it looks good, make sure it's clean, or if you don't care, then you can leave it. You can always fix it later, cover it up with a ribbon or a sticker or whatever you want. So then I'm going to go ahead and fold it down the middle where it's already kind of creased. I should have creased that paper, but I didn't. But nonetheless, I just took my bone folder, just kind of went over it, smoothed out any of the bumps, made sure I had the crease right where I wanted it. And that's all I did with that. So once I do that, then I'm going to try and figure out what I want to use for like the inside, how big I want my sheets to be, how big I want my signatures to be, or depending on what I'm going to do. Because I don't think I'm going to do just signatures in here. I wanted to do something just a little bit different. So I think I'm going to make like a little a flip notebook or something. I don't know. At this moment, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. So I was just kind of eyeballing it, kind of winging it and seeing what I was going to do. So right now I'm just cutting the bottom of this McDonald's bag off because I like I know these are supposed to be French fries, but they're just kind of like lines. I love how there's lines going across. You can use that to journal in, and then the back side of it's going to be blank. So then you have a whole blank page on the back of it to journal with. So I'm just going to cut the bottom of it off and kind of make sure I have like a nice flat sheet of, I want to say paper, but make sure the bag is flat. It's easier to work with if you don't have all the excess paper and whatnot on there. So I went ahead, cut the bottom off, and made myself a nice little sheet here. So then again, now I'm trying to figure out like what size I want, how big I'm going to make it, whether it's going to be a signature or just like single sheets, and all this just depends on what you want to do. See, at this point, I could have just made a couple of pages for a signature, but then I kind of go through it and I end up cutting a little bit more off because I wanted to make just single, like individual sheets of paper to go into the journal. And you'll see here in a minute how I do that. But right here, once you cut that edge off like that, you had yourself a couple of pages to a signature already. So you could have just stopped at, this cutting the sides off. But again, I wanted some individual sheets. So I'm going to go ahead and go through and mark off where I want to cut it. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of the sheets down to just be individual sheets. That was a mouthful, I know, but here it is. This is what it's going to look like. And again, I'm just going to cut them down to the right size, and you'll see here in a second how they turned out. All right, so for the Chick-fil-A bag, I just did the same thing. I cut it up. Now for these, I decided to make signatures, make them like little signature pages. Did that with the Chick-fil-A bags, the Dunkin' Donuts bags. Like I said, just made some signature pages out of it, just to kind of change it up a little bit. And I don't know why I chose those to make signatures, but I did use those. And then a little bit later, ended up cutting some more out and making some more pages for my signature because it was just a little bit too thin. So now I'm looking at the like individual sheets here, and I realized they're just a little bit too big. So I'm going to go ahead and trim those down so that they fit a little bit better. And I think they're probably going to be about 5 inches if I'm not mistaken. I think I made them a little bit bigger. So I think all these are 5x7s, just in case you were wondering what size I made mine. The actual cover was like 6x8, I believe. And then the inside pages were 5x7. So this bag is a Chipotle. I think it's a Chipotle bag. I don't eat Chipotle, but my girls love Chipotle. Yuck. I do not like Chipotle. But I like the way that the side of the bag had that real ingredients and just kind of had everything listed. So I wanted to cut that out and kind of incorporate it. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it yet. But once I cut it out, what I decided to do was just kind of make like this little like little flip tab thingy to go onto the side. And I may change it, once it's in there. It may not, fit the way that I wanted it to, but I just went ahead, kind of folded it up, trimmed it down, made sure everything was even, looked nice, and made sure that it fit inside the cover. And this one, I don't think I'm going to glue down. And in this video, you're not going to see me actually put the whole journal together. There's going to be a part 2 where I put it together and kind of decorate it and add some stuff to it. But this one was getting kind of long, and it was an hour and something to begin with. I was surprised I got it down to the 30 minutes that I got it down to. But this is everything that is going into it. So like I said, I just decided to kind of fold it up. I didn't know which way I was going to go with it. So initially, I just kind of put it in there like this and decided to just put it on the side there. And I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it once I start decorating and adding, embellishments and all that stuff. But right now, I'm just going to fold it up, make sure it fits in there, and probably just paper clip it in there. I think that's what I ended up doing, was just paper clipping it in there so that, it was in there and I didn't lose it. And I kind of remembered what I wanted to do with it once it was in my journal. So here it is. And I just kind of like how the real ingredients sticks out there on the top. But I was trying to figure out how I'm going to have that little tab stay down. So I have to figure something out. I may put the paper clip on the side once I get everything, kind of situated in there, but I'm not 100% sure. So here I was just trying to figure out like what I wanted to do with it. And then I realized it was kind of skimpy. So I decided to add a couple more signature pages in there. And this here is like the Dunkin' Donuts like wrapper that they put your sandwiches in and stuff. So I just got one of those, kind of trimmed it down to size. And then once I was done trimming that one down to size, I just ended up making one extra signature page with that one. I did kind of adjust it so that the lettering was kind of even and made sense on the page there. And this is what it looks like. There are a few grease stains, but I'll cover those up. It's not a big deal. And then I found this White Castle bag, which I thought was really cute because it had like blue confetti on the side. So I'm just going to go ahead, trim this one up like I did all the other ones. And I'm going to make sure that that confetti is going to be like the actual page. I don't really want that middle part of it. So it was kind of a lot easier because all I did was kind of fold it up a few times and it worked out perfectly. It was pretty even as far as like where I wanted to cut it. I just had to clean it up, trim it down a little bit, and it worked out great. So I was able to get 2 little signature pages, or I guess technically 4 signature pages out of one bag, and there was still some extra paper left over in case I wanted to, if I want to use it for something else. And I save everything. Everyone knows I save everything because I never know what I'm going to want to make with it, or one day I'm going to need it and then I'm like, oh, I had it and I don't have it now. So I save everything. I'm trying to stop doing that because I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of paper. I have a lot of stickers. So I need to stop like hoarding everything and just use what I have. But until then, I have everything that you can think of. I probably have. But again, I'm just going to go ahead, clean this up, trim it up. And that is all I'm going to do with this one. And with this one bag, I ended up with the 2 signature pages, like I said before. And again, there was still some extra sheets left over. So guys, that's all I'm going to do for this video is show you how I made the insides of my journal. And in my part 2, I will put it together, finish it up, decorate it, and show you what it looks like all put together and, show you how you can use it. So that's it for this one, guys. Hopefully by the time I post part 2, you'll have your stuff cut up so that you can make your own junk DIY journal. And thank you, Pam from the Paper Outpost, for posting that challenge. I thought it was amazing. And guys, please be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, hit the notification bell, and thank you so much for stopping by. Until next time, be blessed and be the reason someone smiles. Bye.